So I had a revelation about double tardation with this and shear. Yes, sir. See? Tard bucks. Yeah, they use some nanotech treatments on the coffee beans. So you know, this is the weakest configuration right here, the 40 and the 20. You know, there we go. There's you know, the Gen 3 PMag from Magpul. So you know, the Marine Corps is adopting the Gen 3, you know, 30 round in a neutral, natural coloration scheme, similar to flat, dark Earth. Oh, you know. So anyway, folks, it's like this. But you could, you know, you use the 40 or whatever, the 30, 30 and 30, 40 and 40, 40 and 30, whichever, you know. But you can't use as the vertical mag the 20. Just don't. Well, that might work in. It won't work in a. Well, it won't work in this one either. You know, pretty much have any kind of configuration you want with this. Yeah, this is just regular bolt-on here. It's not the thermomoldable plastic explosives that I have yet to name. And I got the scar right here. So they even, no, it's not healed up. I got this one in a knife fight. Most recently in a knife fight, just like 3 weeks ago, darned my coat up. Didn't wear it for a while. That guy's in the river. He's weighed down, you know. Okay. Before I go off into ultra pre-programmed self-sabotage, cavity, you know, and so
well, I mean, this was filmed about a year ago, and I went and collected the bones, and they compose a type of clothes for it. Okay, all right.
Self-defense, you know, broke their necks.
Let me just say, before you get totally creeped out.
Conventional reload techniques are slow. Stay in the fight with mag-crafted extra ammo. From speed swing.
Speed swing.
Agent quick!
Yes, I want my enemies to arm themselves. That way nobody will want to fight, you know. That way this possibility of bloodshed will be eliminated. You know, and make no mistake, my friend, nobody can tell you how many rounds you might need, you know. When you're going up against Mr. Paddock, you know, in a hotel hallway, and he's firing 200 rounds down it at you. You know, Mr. Paddock, he was under mind control, and he actually confided to a friend of his that he thought he was the subject of a government experiment. Well, he was. You know, somebody got a hold of him and subjected him to a hypnotic drug. And I know from firsthand experience that can really do a number on you. And they pointed out, well, Mr. Paddock, you've got some suppressed problems. You're an old man, essentially. And you have no children, and you spend all your spare time gambling. And your life is just basically not worth living. Now isn't that right, Mr. Paddock? So you're going to buy all these guns all of a sudden, situate them in a hotel room. Right? Why do they have so many guns? It's because these fucking black operatives, these fucking homegrown fucking terrorists of the deep state, they wanted other shooters to be present in that hotel room to maximize the carnage. This is not some isolated lone wolf incident. This is terrorism. It's terrorism sponsored by isolated elements of the government. Some of these people are involved with the CIA. Some of these people are involved with the military. They've just wormed in. They've snaked in. Infiltrated these various government agencies, because when you're employed by the government, you have all this unbridled power, and it's so easy to get away with so much. So naturally, all these sort of sociopathic types, these people who are raised into this sort of sociopathy, this sort of, and they're a bunch of fucking nihilists, and they're sort of pseudo-satanic, and they're just wicked fucking scum, and they're serving this larger globalist agenda. They're moving in a very particular direction, and so folks like Alex Jones know what's going on, I understand the agenda, yeah. But you're telling me you're going to go up against Mr. Paddock, with just 30 rounds, our product allows somebody to reload a couple seconds faster, like on average a 3.5 to 4 second reload versus like a 5 or 6 second reload, which is more typical in a combat situation. And it allows you to recouple the mags, and that's good. It's consistent. You're reloading the same way. You can see what you're doing. You're reaching for a magazine that you can see rather than reaching back someplace on your chest or on your belt line or on your thigh or something. And right, at best, it's going to allow a mass shooter to maybe kill one more person. That's it. That's if it just works out. Just the timing of it is just perfect and everything. When they'd actually be better served for the very straightforward venture of just killing a lot of people, they'd be better off with a drum magazine. That way they don't even have to reload. Our product is a dynamic product. You can break it down real quick. You can, as you saw. It's a very dynamic product for dynamic operators. That could be anybody, really. Because, right, when you're in a little war of your own, anything can happen. Anything and everything does happen in war. It's just filled with drama, I know that from talking to people. I know that from some firsthand experience. I know that from reading books about true accounts of war. Or at least, they were pretty true anyway. So when you're in a little war of your own, you need to advantage yourself as heavily as you possibly can with the absolute best equipment. That's where the speed switch comes in. It's just $36. It's a non-disposable, very durable piece of plastic and a piece of shot cord. And that's all it is, friends. It doesn't get more real than this. Yes, I want my enemies to arm themselves, because then we'd have less to fight about. You know, people moving in a more ruggedly individualistic direction. You know, people taking responsibility for themselves, and the protection of other people. I think that makes them more, you know, conservative, doesn't it? Makes them more sort of classically human, doesn't it? But instead, you got some people on the right entertaining ideas that they're gonna, you know, in some kind of WROL condition, they're gonna kill their fucking liberal neighbors, who have essentially become zombies, you know. Just a problem to easily get rid of, you know. When in reality, the right to bear arms is for everybody, and it's for all people on the earth. In actual fact, you got to have some respect for everybody, you know. And the earth, it's a really, really, really big place, far bigger than you're being told. And there are experiments you can run, just visual experiments with a telescope. Even binoculars, just your naked eye, unaugmented by extra lenses. And lasers, you know, powerful cutting, engraving lasers, not just a laser pointer, that prove, and people have done this, and people have recorded this, they've proven that the Earth is absolutely fucking flat. You know, this military secret society that I was involved with, they told me the Earth was flat, in actual fact, you know. And they told me they were, you know, there were some people doing some exploration of the outer limits, so to speak, you know, beyond Antarctica. You know, you go south in any direction, there's more land. And you know, you know, it's not so icy. It becomes like a temperate rainforest. You know. Basically, I mean, you're being lied to about every damned thing. This is a big satanic experiment that you're involved in. You know, your whole life you've been involved in this big, disgusting deception. You know, your whole life.